Huh? Oh, are we live now? Oh, that was crazy. Okay.
Yes, hold on. You can also talk about our platform. I think so. We can make a video, quick video of 30 minutes where you are talking about the process and everything. You can sign up on our website and host our project. Here is the link. We'll put the links on the description box. I think so. The questions that everyone people ask, we'll make a YouTube video out of it. I think so. This would be the best way to utilize the time.
Okay. All right. Hey everyone, welcome to Real Time Talk with Eagle 3D Streaming. My name is Quentin Anderson and I am the host of Real Time Talk. And as you'll notice, there is only one person here with me today. The individual that we had lined up for today's podcast was something came up and she was unable to make it today. So we will, of course, the show must go on. So we will spend today's time going over some important questions that we typically get from some of our users. And if you have anything that you would like to address specifically, then please feel free to post it because it's just you and I today. So there will be plenty of opportunity if you have any questions related to anything about pixel streaming. Today is the perfect opportunity to get you some answers. So if you'd like to ask a question, just post it in our YouTube channel and we will discuss it live here on the show. And if there's anything else that you'd like to cover, just, please feel free because, it's just us today. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time going over some updates that are currently going on with Eagle 3D Streaming. And then I'll also cover some topics that we typically get asked by our customers, what's going on, and then we'll also cover what the next quarter is looking like. So should be still an awesome show, and we'll go ahead and get into it. The first thing that we've got coming up is a little festival. So this festival is taking place, of course, in New Orleans from the 17th of October to the 20th. And this festival is, of course, Unreal Fest. And unfortunately, if you haven't already registered, your window has closed and the event is totally sold out. So if you were able to register, excellent. Please find me at the show. I'll be there from the 17th of October all the way until the 20th, which means it'd be an awesome opportunity to meet anyone at the show that could potentially be available. Another cool thing is we will also be giving a presentation. So if you are wondering or if you have any questions about Unreal Engine in the cloud, we will be giving a presentation. It happens at 10 a.m. on October 20th, 2022 at Unreal Fest, and we will be discussing specifically what it takes to run deploy cloud solutions with Unreal. Specific focus on content creation, consumption, and tools. So, I've already got my presentation completed. It's awesome. I can't wait to share it with you live at Unreal Fest. And there's also, obviously an extremely solid panel of the industry leaders when it comes to Unreal Engine in the cloud. I'm very excited because Unreal Engine in the cloud is getting much more exposure and interest lately, and there's a lot of reasons for that. It totally removes hardware and software dependencies, and it provides a much more structured and centralized manner for publishing Unreal Engine applications. So if you're there, don't hesitate to reach out to me at Unreal Fest, and please make sure that you make it to our panel discussion, which is Unreal Engine in the cloud. Which is again on October 20th, 2022. Okay. Another thing that I would kind of like to go over are some of the FAQs that we typically get. And I know that we always have a lot of questions when it comes to, our platform. How does it work? Yada, yada. So I think we can spend a little bit of time going over some of the questions that we commonly get to hopefully get you some answers that are beneficial to you. Okay, so if we kind of look at some of the questions that we commonly get. The first one is, what is pixel streaming? So, pixel streaming kind of means a lot of things because it was originally a term that was coined by Epic Games to help describe the manner in which we transmit a stream of a video of a game engine over the internet. And now it's kind of evolved to sort of represent a little bit of publishing an Unreal Engine application in general to the cloud. So if I think about what it specifically means, it's a technology developed by Epic Games that is included within the Unreal Engine source code as a plugin that, when enabled, it allows your Unreal Engine application, the output, to be streamed over the internet using WebRTC. And if you're wondering, well, why would I want to do this? Well, if you've ever played a sophisticated video game like Fortnite or Call of Duty or anything at that level, then you have to have a big, powerful computer in order to run those applications. So the benefit of pixel streaming is it removes the hardware and software dependencies commonly associated with playing video games, and it moves all of that to the cloud, which creates a centralized location for streaming real-time data, and then it sends it to the user via their browser. And why browser? Well, browser is very beneficial because everyone has a browser, and everyone, most days, has some sort of access to the internet, which means that if you have access to the internet and you, of course, using just the browser app on the device that you're using, you're able to play a high fidelity video game in real time. And I do use the term video game. A lot of our clients obviously aren't streaming Fortnite and Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed and Grand Theft Auto. Typically, the games that are streamed are enterprise-based applications. One thing that we commonly hear is the emerging metaverse and how this is taking shape. That's a very good example of an enterprise level metaverse application where it could be an open world where NFTs are involved and there's a modern gallery that you can explore, and that is obviously going to have to be published in some form or fashion so that your users can access it. And instead of trying to send them a link for them to download your game and then they have a Mac and not a PC, so the way we get around all these challenges is we just stream it to the users. So metaverse is one example. There's also a lot of enterprise-based applications. Architecture, engineering, and construction is an industry that is probably adopting this technology the most. So if we're doing architectural walkthroughs, in other words, if we want to show what the interior or the exterior of a space is going to look like, then that is a good example of why someone would want to pixel stream, because there's no way for us to get that type of content to our users in a more streamlined fashion than just letting them access it over the browser. Because if you think about it, in the older days, if I was going to do an architectural walkthrough, I'd probably watch a video from YouTube on a web page that gives me a walkthrough, or maybe I would have some sort of small interactive 3D walkthrough. So people are already familiar and used to that type of approach. And so with pixel streaming, we're taking that same approach where we're accessing the content through a browser, and now we're just making it very high fidelity. So there's a very, very long answer for me to say pixel streaming is a way to make very high fidelity content accessible through a browser. Okay, what versions of UE4 can be pixel streamed? Well, I guess technically any version of UE4 that has the pixel streaming plugin. I don't remember which version it was actually when this came out. 4.23 maybe. It's been around longer than you think. Probably the better question is what version of UE4 should you pixel streaming? And the answer to that is 4.27. And the reason why it's 4.27 is because that is when pixel streaming became quote unquote production ready, which means Epic Games invested a lot of time in getting pixel streaming to a point to where it performs much better and in line with what people are expecting for browser-based experiences. So my answer to this one should be, or would be, what version should you stream for UE4? And the answer is 4.27. Now, if you're thinking about UE5, that's great. There are some limitations. Our platform does support UE5, and so we are able to stream UE5 out of the box. That's no problem. If you're thinking about larger deployments, if we're doing 1,000, 10,000 person event, then there can be some constraints there that you'll probably need to talk to us about. But in general, our platform does support UE5, which obviously, in the very near future, within a year, that's going to be the standard for streaming for sure. What settings are required for UE4 pixel streaming? The only setting that's required is you need to enable the pixel streaming plugin. And once that's enabled, then you're good to go and you're able to stream in the cloud. And, that's why we built our platform the way that we built it, is so that we could make it possible for streaming to occur. So, and I'm going to bring up my camera periodically so you're not just watching a static browser screen. Actually, I wonder if I can do this instead. Ooh, let's try this. So I will hide these and then I'll put this here. Aha, there we go. That's probably way, 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 way better. All right. So the next one that we were on is, can UE4 pixel streaming multiplayer? Well, we probably need to work on how this question is phrased. But the question is, can you do multiplayer using pixel streaming? And the answer, we always get this question, and the answer is yes. And the reason the answer is yes is because pixel streaming has nothing to do with multiplayer. And so this is actually a really important question. Pixel streaming has nothing to do with multiplayer. When you're thinking about publishing an Unreal Engine application to the cloud, you need to think about streaming and multiplayer as two totally separate endeavors. So all the streaming does is just the transfer or distribution of Unreal Engine content over the internet. And that's all it is. So if we just think about streaming in its purest sense, all it is a server sending input to a client and then inputs from the client being sent back to the server. And that loop right there is full stop, everything involved in pixel streaming. The other piece is the multiplayer. And multiplayer has nothing to do with streaming, and it has everything to do with how you would commonly set up a multiplayer experience if you were playing on desktop. So for example, we do have a browser-based template, and I'll bring up an example of multiplayer. So, here's an example of multiplayer. The reason why this multiplayer is, in the way that we set this up is, all there is, let's see. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. The reason why multiplayer is, I think where the confusion comes in is because, we're thinking, well, how exactly does this work? I'm streaming, but I'm also doing multiplayer at the same time. So, and that's why I like to separate them. So if you set up your multiplayer project similar to how you typically would in a desktop deployment, so you have a dedicated server. And what does that dedicated server do? Well, it manages all the connections between them, all the players inside your application. If you have that environment running on a desktop, why wouldn't it work in the cloud? And I think that's typically where some of the confusion comes into play. As long as the networking is set up and configured properly, there's really no difference between multiplayer running on a desktop experience versus multiplayer running in a cloud. So, to the question, yes, multiplayer is absolutely supported through pixel streaming, but the better answer is they're actually two different things. And yes, we can do both. We actually have a template for multiplayer that's a dedicated server. And it's amazing. You can actually have multiple. We have it set up where it will dynamically grab the dedicated server IP addresses based on your server setup, and you're able to toggle between them. So you can have, two different rooms on two different dedicated servers. There's a lot of cool things that we're able to do. But the bottom line is yes, multiplayer is definitely possible. Next question is, how to upload my project onto the Eagle 3D streaming platform? Another question we get all the time. So I think the easiest way is just to show. So the first thing we would do is we would go to, your control panel. And all you have to do is go to controlpanel.eagle3dstreaming.com. And you'll see something like this. Now, if you do not have an account, then all you have to do is click sign up, enter in your email address, enter in your password, and click sign up. You'll receive a verification email, and once you verify the email, then you'll be asked to create a username. Now, the username is incredibly important because this is how our system remembers who you are. And we don't explicitly say it during the sign up process, but don't go crazy with your usernames, meaning keep it to letters and numbers, no spaces, no special characters like exclamation marks. I wouldn't even say an underscore or a period. Just keep it to letters and numbers because the database system that we use doesn't like special characters. It gets a little confused. So when you're creating your username, please make sure numbers, letters, characters, and the simpler the better. So after that, all you have to do is click sign in, and then you'll receive something, or then you'll be able to see your control panel. Once you're at your control panel, then you'll be able to modify all of your settings. So I am going to actually change the subject to how do I upload my Unreal Engine application? How do I upload my Unreal Engine application? All right. And then, we can just go over the process formally. So the first thing that you'll do is you'll sign in, and if you don't have an account, then you'll go to sign up. So go to controlpanel.eagle3dstreaming.com. You can see it right here. Go to controlpanel.eagle3dstreaming.com. Click sign up. Create your account. After that's done, then sign in, and then you'll receive something that looks like this. The first thing that you need to do is to upload your Unreal Engine application. So what I like to do is I just click add, and I enter in the name of my Unreal executable. Now, this is very important to keep in mind is how this package needs to be, or how this needs to be presented and packaged. All right, so the first thing that you'll notice is that the name of my UE.exe is project, capital P, 001. So, because my Unreal executable is project with the capital P, 001, I must enter that name exactly into the control panel. So if I, take a look right here, you'll see that it's project 001. Then I click OK. And then I go to upload. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of my, first I'm going to build my build for Windows, Pixel Streaming plugin enabled, and you'll end up with build files. So take all these build files and create a zip. So zip them up. And then after you enter in the name of your UEEXE, you just click upload or browse and then go to your built files. So I'm just going to navigate to my built files, select it, and then click upload. After it's uploaded, the next thing to do is to create your config. You will first click add, and then you'll be able to configure your streaming options. You can change, expiration date of your URLs. You can specify how long a session is. There are UI options. There are developer options. There are so many things that you can do with your config. So I'm going to go ahead and select this config right here, which I've already pre-made. We've got a lot of configs because, we do a lot of streaming. But basically, all I did was then I just click play app. And after I select my project and my config and I click play app, then the application will begin loading and eventually start streaming. So yeah, let's actually give that a, did I upload the project? I don't think I've uploaded that project yet, so I'll just go to a different one so we can all see the process. Oh, nope, there we go. So here we go. So I've now uploaded the project, and you can see that I am playing while talking with you all. So it's incredibly easy, and this is all that you have to do. And then, obviously this is just sort of like a gun game, but there's a lot of different things that are available as options. Here's another one where, we just, we made it just a standard conference room, pretty cool. So there's, it's pretty limitless in terms of what you like to do. And just, if you're curious, if you're wondering what city this is, it's Hong Kong. I didn't know that. Someone told me that in one of the thousands of calls we've had over the last couple of years. Okay, so a little bit different today, but I think we went over some pretty important things. A lot of the questions we commonly get, we started to go over. Now we also went over the building and uploading process. So I think we still accomplished something today. We added a little value. I sincerely appreciate you all. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And we will be, like I said, at Unreal Fest this year giving an awesome presentation. So please, please, please make sure that you check it out if you're there. I am Quentin Anderson. This has been Real Time Talk with Eagle 3D Streaming, and we will catch you